gameranx presents the top 10 Xbox games of 2017. These are the most anticipated games that we're looking forward to, and these are games that you should probably care about in 2017. Starting off with number 10, we have South Park: The Fractured Butthole. The Fractured Butthole, which I will never get tired of saying, takes place after the events of the Stick of Truth, and this time everyone's had a huge falling out over the planned movie franchise plans, and this separates all the characters into two groups, and there's a start of a superhero civil war between these two groups. You'll once again play as the new kid, and you'll get to choose from 12 different classes while customizing your hero. The gameplay here seems like a blast, and seeing that the game is being written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of really funny and memorable moments. I mean, just the title alone makes me giggle. I can't. I just love saying it. The Fractured Butthole. I just can't wait to see this game on store shelves. And up next, number 9, we have Cuphead. Cuphead is a run-and-gun platform game where the player will have to fight a series of bosses to repay their debt to the devil. The game's art style is obviously what stands out here. It's heavily inspired by classic cartoons from the 1930s. There's going to be a heavy emphasis on the retro game type difficulty from older games, and a lot of the characters and backgrounds here are actually hand-drawn and painted, so a lot of work is going into the development of this game. And this was announced at Microsoft's E3 press conference back in 2014, so hopefully this long wait actually pays off. And up next, number 8, we have Halo Wars 2. We're finally getting a sequel to Halo Wars this year, and it looks like more of the same, which isn't bad at all. It takes place after Halo 5 and has a 13-mission single-player campaign where you play as either the UNSC or the Banished, which is a new alien faction replacing the Covenant. It also features multiple multiplayer modes, one of them being the card-based Blitz mode. Everything about this game just seems great, and it's shaping up to be a worthy sequel of the very underrated first game. And up next, number 7, we have Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil finally makes its long-awaited return to the survival horror style of gameplay that it's known for. While I do enjoy the third-person shooter gameplay in 4 and 5, I always thought that Resident Evil's best moments came from its earlier games, where it was a lot less action-oriented. In Resident Evil 7, you play as Ethan Winters, whose search for his missing wife leads him to the rundown plantation mansion where the Baker family resides. You'll spend your time fighting off and running from the Baker family, solving puzzles, and exploring the mansion and its grounds. The game does play in first person, which is the first from one of the games in the main series. This game doesn't have a huge emphasis on combat like the last 3 games in the series, and it really does focus more on the survival horror aspects of Resident Evil. The game also isn't a reboot and will somehow tie into the lore of the Resident Evil universe, and I can't wait to figure out how it does. And up next, at number 6, we have Sea of Thieves. This is essentially a pirate simulator where you get to create your own pirate, and you can team up with other friends and other pirates to search for buried treasure and take part in nautical battles. You're constantly working towards finding treasure and loot to help build up your pirate and your ship, and the whole point of the game is just to become a better pirate. The customization in this game really does seem like a blast. Just with your ship alone, you have different classes, colors, material, figureheads, and sails. And while it does come off as a light-hearted, fun game, there is still some danger you have to look out for. A stronger player is able to come through and completely wipe out you and your crew and steal all of your stuff. But thankfully, if you are able to get back to your stuff before that player or another player grabs it, you are able to reclaim it seems like. You have a whole open world at your disposal, so the options are limitless. You can really do whatever the hell you want, whenever you want to, and you can do it how you want to. The co-op in this game also seems like a blast. Manning an entire ship with every single player having their own job just seems like a ton of fun. And if you've played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you know how cool it is to be a pirate, and you know how cool and epic ship battles can be. And if that game taught me one thing, it's that a pirate's life is the life for me. That is a horrible joke, and I'm gonna keep it in this video. And up next, number 5, we have the next Forza game. We don't have any info at all on it yet. Seeing that Forza is on an every other year cycle with the Horizon series, and seeing that last year we got Forza Horizon 3, we should be getting Forza 7 this year, if it's even titled Forza 7. Forza is the biggest racing series currently on Xbox. There used to be a bunch more, but this one has really stood the test of time, and how good and well polished these games are is a big part of why. You can probably expect more cars and prettier graphics, but for now, we'll have to sit and wait and see what the developers have in store for us. And next up at number 4, we have State of Decay 2. The first State of Decay game was great, I loved it. At a time where zombie games were really flooding the market, that was one of the few that really stood out and was a lot of fun and was something that I went back to a lot. And while I think that in 2017, we really don't need any zombie games, State of Decay 2 is one that I will welcome with open arms. You don't just play as one person, you play as an entire community, with each survivor having their own unique skills and own unique traits. And the big miss from the first game is finally making its way into the sequel, and that's multiplayer. In this game, you're gonna have 4-player co-op, which was a big miss for the first game, and just that alone has me super excited to get my hands on the sequel. And up next, on number 3, we have Mass Effect Andromeda. The next Mass Effect game is finally coming, and it's also coming a lot sooner than I expected. You play as one of the 2 Ryder twins, and you set off on a 600-year journey to the Andromeda galaxy to find new planets for you to colonize. Now, there still isn't too much to know about this game, but everything that we do know sounds great, at least I think so. And even though we're kind of still in the dark with this game, it seems that you'll still have what makes Mass Effect so great, exploring different planets, building romantic and non-romantic relationships, and choosing what moral path you want to take. I just can't wait to get my hands on another Mass Effect game. I had a ton of fun with the first 3, and I'm sure this one will be no different. And coming in at number 2, we have Crackdown 3. I really love the Crackdown series. I'm dying to get my hands on another one. It's been a while since we've heard anything about this game, so maybe it's undergone some serious changes. And there was some talk on the internet that even though it had a bit of a development rough patch, it's still moving along and just fine, just as planned, so there really shouldn't be anything to worry about. I think the first Crackdown was one of my favorite Xbox 360 experiences, so the fact that I'm getting a third one this year on my Xbox One, I cannot wait. And finally, at number 1, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. Finally, the greatest Rockstar game ever made is getting a sequel that we legitimately know little to nothing about. We did get a very short teaser trailer that really just showcased how the game looks and what the world looks like, but that's really it. We didn't get any mention of who you're playing as, when the game takes place, whether or not it's a sequel or a prequel, although I have my reasons to believe that it takes place before Red Dead Redemption. And there really isn't much more to say than that. We really don't know anything about it. That teaser trailer we got gave us very little to go off of. But I'm super excited for this game, and if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption, you have some homework to do. We also have some bonus games that didn't make it on the list, but we definitely want to mention still. We have For Honor, a multiplayer-centric hack-and-slash game from Ubisoft. Outlast 2, the sequel to the very spooky Outlast, which I'm still way too afraid to finish. Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is an open-world take on one of the best Tom Clancy series. Below, which hopefully finally gets to see the light of day this year. I've been dying for this game ever since it was announced. And also Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which do I really need to say anything about this one? I mean, it's Marvel vs. Capcom. This is definitely going to be an interesting year for the Xbox One, with Scalebound and Fable Legends being cancelled, and the Scorpio supposedly releasing later this year. Microsoft has a lot going on, but only time will tell what kind of year they're actually going to have. And those are our top 10 Xbox games of 2017, but I want to hear from you guys. Meet me down in the comments, let me know what games on this list you guys are excited for, and let me know if we forgot any. Liking this video really does help us out, and if you guys didn't know, we put videos up like this every single day, and the best way to get them is with a subscription to the channel. I'm Andrew the New Guy, thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next time right here on gameranx.